Beneath the vast African sky, a silvery moon cast its glow upon a forest cloaked in darkness. The trees twisted and loomed like silent witnesses to an ancient curse. Within their shadows lay a shallow grave, undisturbed until now. Suddenly, the earth shuddered as a decayed hand broke through the surface, clawing desperately at the air. Kojo, the man once buried beneath, had returned not as he was in life, but as a being forged by love and vengeance. Bits of flesh clung stubbornly to his mottled ebony skin, and the faint glow of his hollow eyes lit the night with an eerie brilliance. Each skeletal hand pushed through the soil with unrelenting force, driven by a heart that refused to rest. Not far away, Ama, a strikingly beautiful African woman with smooth dark brown skin and hazel eyes that glistened with fear, lay bound and gagged. Her curly black hair was tangled, and her traditional wrap skirt bore streaks of dirt. Tears streaked her cheeks as she writhed against the ropes biting into her wrists, her muffled cries lost in the dense forest air. Kwame, a towering and muscular man with ebony skin and a deep scar etched across his cheek, stood nearby with a shovel in hand. Sweat trickled down his face, glistening in the moonlight. His dark eyes burned with greed, and his lips twisted into a sneer as he glared at Ama. "With you gone, the inheritance is all mine," he declared, his voice deep and unwavering, filled with a venomous satisfaction. He drove the shovel into the soil, dirt flying as he carved out her shallow grave. Meanwhile, Kojo stumbled through the forest, his skeletal frame illuminated by the pale light of the moon. Shadows danced around him, his decayed body moving with an unsettling rhythm. The faint glow in his hollow eyes grew more intense as he approached the clearing. Kwame's movements faltered as he noticed the figure approaching. His expression turned from smug confidence to sheer terror. The shovel slipped from his grasp, landing with a thud as he stumbled backward. His mouth opened in a silent scream, the scar on his cheek twitching as his face contorted in horror. Ama, seizing the moment, channeled every ounce of strength into her struggle. Her hazel eyes blazed with determination as she twisted and pulled at the ropes until they gave way. Her hands finally free, she tore the gag from her mouth and worked quickly to untie her feet. Her chest heaved as she gasped for air, her desperation transforming into hope. Kojo's skeletal hand shot out, seizing Kwame by the neck. Despite his muscular build, Kwame was powerless in Kojo's unyielding grip. His scarred face twisted in panic as he clawed at the bony hand, but it was no use. The forest seemed to hold its breath. The usual chorus of night sound silenced as Kojo's glowing eyes bore into Kwame's. "Kojo, please, don't let your vengeance consume you," Ama's voice rang out, trembling yet resolute. Her tears sparkled in the moonlight as she stepped forward, her gaze pleading. For a moment, the glow in Kojo's eyes dimmed. His skeletal form turned toward her, and his grip on Kwame slackened. The quiet desperation in her voice reached through the veil of death, grounding him in the love they once shared. But vengeance was not easily swayed. Kojo dragged Kwame toward the shallow grave, his movements deliberate and unrelenting. He hurled Kwame into the pit, and the earth itself seemed to respond. The ground shifted unnaturally, pulling Kwame deeper as his frantic screams pierced the night. The soil moved with a life of its own, sealing the grave until all that remained was an eerie stillness. Kojo turned to Ama, his skeletal hand brushing her face with a tenderness that defied his monstrous form. Pieces of his decayed body began to crumble, drifting away like ash carried by the wind. "Live well, Ama," he whispered, his voice faint and ethereal. With one final lingering look, Kojo's form faded into the first light of dawn. Ama stood in the clearing, the golden rays of the sun breaking through the trees and illuminating her tear-streaked face. She inhaled deeply, the weight of grief mingling with newfound strength. Resolutely, she turned and walked away, her heart set on rebuilding the life that had been torn apart. Back in the village, whispers of the forest's secrets spread like wildfire. The elders spoke of love so powerful it defied death, and of justice that hunted the wicked no matter where they hid. Hama's story became a testament to resilience and hope, a tale told to inspire courage in the face of unimaginable darkness.